Hey y'all, it's Cassandra with Pecan Porch Boutique. So this video, you guys, is gonna be all about doing small things. Y'all know how I love doing furniture and how I always gravitate to a big piece of furniture. But child, I am not a spring chicken no more. And plus, I have a lot of these little small tables and just little small projects in my shop that I really need to get done and out of the way. And I'm thinking maybe along the way, I will kind of get the feel for doing small things and stop breaking my back. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But for now, for this video, it's all about smalls. All right, so this little table is going to be the first one that I'm going to work on. I don't know if you can see it completely, but it's a cute little vintage table. It has a drawer in the front, and I picked it up at a garage sale actually across the street. I might have paid too much for it. I paid $25 for it, and it actually has a little broke piece on the bottom. I didn't see that when I bought it, but oh well, it's still a cute table. So we're going to do this one first. Here we go.
I forgot to add that this little table also has a fitted glass that goes on top of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little shim out of some popsicle sticks and glue to fix this little broken piece on the bottom that I didn't notice until I got it home. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to take this little popsicle stick and I'm going to add some glue and I'm going to shim it into place, and I think that's going to hold it. I'll trim it up and then I'll put a little bit of DIY's Dark and Decrepit on to kind of make it kind of match a little bit better.
I want to kiss you before the sun goes down. I want to kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling.
So now here I am going over the top of it, and I'm not going to paint this whole thing. I'm just going to hit a few areas. Most of the paint is going to go on top, and I'm using DIY paints today. And this one is vintage linen, and I'm just going to go over the top. And then the table has some little decorative pieces on the front of the drawer and on the legs. I'm just going to kind of highlight those with this vintage linen as well. And I'm going to leave the rest of it this kind of mahogany type color that it already is.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. You set my wheels in motion.
I'm going to be using one of the IOD Inlays, and this one is called Spring Melody. And I'll be using the roses. There's 2 sheets of roses in this paint inlay, and I'm going to be using those on the top of this table, kind of in a little bit of a different way. So I've already done 2 coats of the vintage linen, and I've cut these roses out. So rather than using them on the full sheet, I've cut these roses out. I'm just going to lay them down as I would if I were just laying down the whole sheet of the paint inlay. I'm just going to lay each rose into my paint with the grid side up, and that's what you're going to see me doing here. I'm adding an extra coat of paint and I'm gonna lay that inlay down into that.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you move,
I'll be working in sections so that my paint doesn't dry out on me, but I'm just gonna lay these down like I mentioned, with the grid side up, and I'm taking my finger and I'm just tapping them down into the paint, and then I'll come back with a baby wipe and I'll just kind of push them down a little bit further and try to get them a little bit wet. You can spritz your inlays before you lay them into paint, and maybe I should have did this, or before you lay them into top coat, either way. Maybe I should have did this first, but I'm just trying to take it very careful because I don't want to disturb the paint that's underneath them. So once I finish this row, then I'll lay down another coat of paint and I'll start that process all over again until I get the top of the table full.
everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you do.
Okay, here you'll see me. I'm just starting my second row here, and I'm just gonna lay down another coat of paint, and I am kind of laying it down a little bit thick, and that'll kind of give me a little bit of a buffer just in case I stick my finger down there while I'm pressing them in and pull up some of the paint. So I am kind of putting it on a little bit thicker, but I'm just doing the same thing. I'm gonna keep going, laying these cut roses into the wet paint until I get to the end of the table.
Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. 'Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before.
Okay, so the paint is dry, my inlays are dry, and now I'm gonna come in with IOD's Kind Disregard stamp and some StazOn ink. And if y'all know me, y'all know how much I love this stamp. It is one of my favorite stamps. It's like a staple. If you don't have the Kind Disregard stamp in your arsenal, you really should get it. But here I am, I'm just gonna stamp up my Kind Disregard stamp, and I'm going to lay it down over my inlays that are still in place. They're dry. I'm gonna lay it down over my inlays, and I'm gonna kind of use my inlays as a mask. So wherever the rose inlay is, the Kind Disregard stamp will not be. And so wherever the roses are not, you will see more of the Kind Disregard stamp. So I'm kind of using them kind of as a mask, so that when I pull up the inlays, then you will kind of get this kind of hidden version of the Kind Disregard stamp, or what looks like a hidden version, because it was over the inlay, if that makes sense. And then you will get the non-hidden version. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just going to continue to go all over the top of this table, and I'm going to get the Kind Disregard stamp down over these inlays. Now I'm going to add a couple of these smaller stamps from, this is the IOD's Letters stamp, and it is one of the older stamps, maybe first gen. It's not offered anymore, but it has some smaller type, like this word I'm showing you now, it says Fleurs, and a few other little smaller letters in it. And I'm going to do the same thing with a few of these things from this stamp as I did with the Kind Disregard stamp.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see
And here is a look at what it all looks like before I take the inlays off. So again, the inlays are still there, they're dry, and here is all my stamping. You can see that I've stamped right over the inlays. So we're going to take a look at what that looks like once I pull these inlays up. I'm taking my little mister bottle and I'm going to just kind of spritz very lightly each inlay, and then I'm taking my baby wipe and I'm kind of dabbing back because I don't want to reactivate that paint that's underneath there. So I'm using the least amount of water that I need to take off each inlay. And then it really would help if I had some nails, but I don't. So I'm just trying to grab a piece of the inlay very gently without digging into the paint and peel it off just like I would if I were using a whole sheet. So that's what I'm doing here. Here I had a little trouble, so I spritzed a little bit more water, dabbed it back, and now I'm able to peel that off. So I'm going to peel off each inlay, again, just like you would if you were using a full sheet. These just happen to be cut up, and so they're individual, and so I'm peeling them off individually. After I peel off these inlays, I'm just laying them down underneath this table because I want them to dry out, because you'll see in another project coming up after this one where I actually am going to reuse the inlay kind of in a little bit of a different way. The inlays are reusable, especially if you put them in paint. You can get 2 to 3 uses out of them. Each time the image will get a little bit lighter as more paint comes off. But this time, instead of doing it that way, I'm going to reuse them in a little bit of a different way. That's coming up.
Wheels in motion, I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean.
All right, y'all, a quick look back at where we started, and this is where we have gone. I think it turned out so cute, simple but cute.
I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling.
Okay, y'all, for project number 2 of this video, I have had these 2 tiny tables, I know, for about a year, y'all. I bought them at a garage sale, I think it was last summer, and they've just been sitting around in my shop looking at me. And so since this is a video all about tiny tables, I wanted to add these into this mix. So they had a couple, or one of them had a couple of gouges around the top of it, and I could not find my wood putty, of course. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to take a little bit of my Tite Bond glue, and I'm going to add a little bit of the Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay, and I'm just kind of gonna did I just say that? I'm just going to fill these little holes up and kind of mold them, and you know, it'll work just as good as the wood putty. I know the lighting is terrible here, y'all, but I am going over all of the bottom and the legs of this little table with DIY's Cowgirl Coral. I really like the color of this paint. It's really pretty. Anyway, remember when I told y'all we're going to use those inlays from the previous project in a different way? Well, we're going to use them as decoupage. So once your inlays dry out, you can also use them for decoupage, whether it's a whole sheet or whether it's the cut-ups like this. But I know y'all are probably saying, well, yeah, Cassandra, that's nice and everything, but why the heck are you putting those on the bottom side of this table? Well, I don't know. I do things like that. But how fun is it going to be if someone buys these little tables and when they pick them up to take them away, they see these little roses on the underside? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just decoupaging these down just like I would if I were decoupaging them on top of the table. So I'm using DIY's liquid patina and I'm laying down a really nice coat of that. And then I'm using these inlays, laying them right into that liquid patina, and I'm laying them in, this time right side up. And then I am going to put liquid patina over the top of them, just like regular decoupage. So don't forget, you can also use your used inlays once they dry out as decoupage, whether it's on a full sheet or whether they're cut-ups.
I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you.
So now I'm just going to take a tiny bit, not too much, of the DIY paint in Gypsy Green, and I'm going to go over the legs of each of these tables. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit of a striped look. And so I'm not going to go the same direction because I want a little bit of that coral showing in between. So that's why I'm going to go just kind of up and down with not too much paint. But this paper, y'all, is so pretty. This is Roycycled's decoupage paper called Burlap Roses. I think it came out this spring. Yeah, spring 2025, I believe. And it is so pretty. It has these pretty roses, some large, some small, but they all sit atop of this kind of burlap background. And the paper is just gorgeous. So I'm going to be using it to top each table. So here you'll see me just kind of cutting out around the table, just trying to get enough so that I have a little bit of an edge that hangs over so that I'm able to trim it off once it's dry. I'll be using DIY's liquid patina to lay down my decoupage paper. I will be topping it off with liquid patina as well as sealing the whole piece with liquid patina. And you'll see me in a little while. I'll be struggling with a 220 grit sandpaper that wasn't really, gritty enough. But I got it done. So here we go, y'all. Take a look.
What it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand.
So whenever I'm decoupaging, I always kind of like to do an anchor strip. That's the strip at the very beginning that will hold your paper into place. So I do the anchor strip and then I start to work my way back toward the paper. You don't want to have too much of your product on your brush when you get up close to the paper because that'll kind of maybe leave a streak there. So I kind of offload as I work my way toward the paper and then I get up close to the edge of the paper and lay the paper down. And I always people use different things, but I kind of like to use just a little bit of balled up cling wrap to press my paper into my product. And that way, the oils from my fingers don't get stuck on the paper, making it wrinkle. So that's just kind of my process for doing it. And it seems to work, at least so far.
It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
I can remember when I first started decoupaging how once you get your decoupage paper down and you're so good at getting the wrinkles out of it and you're like so proud of yourself, and then you go and you put the decoupage medium over the top of your paper to seal it, and what happens? It kind of tries to bubble back up. I panicked so bad the first time that happened, y'all. But it will happen because you're introducing moisture back to the paper. So, but if you just put it on there, let it sit, you'll come back and you'll find that those wrinkles just work their way out. So don't panic. That's just part of the process itself.
Yeah, I'm falling in
So before you start to trim off your sides or your edges, you want to make sure that your paper is thoroughly dry. But as you can see, my paper was dry, y'all, but this 220 grit sandpaper was out of there. It had no more grit to it. So I kind of struggled with it for a little while until I went and got another one that had better grit to it. Okay, here's the tiny table look back at what they were, and now here is what they have become. I love that decoupage paper, y'all, with that cowgirl coral, and I added some gold, of course I did, around the edge, and here's a look underneath. I think they turned out really pretty. All right, for project number 3, y'all, I've had this box thing sitting in my shop too for about a year and a half or so. It's really well made, but I thought it would be a cute table. So I ordered these legs from Amazon a while back, and it comes with the plates. It also comes with the screws. It also comes with the little plastic feet. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a quick, simple project. Well, child, little did I know that the plates that come with it do a couple things. Some of the plates make the legs stand straight up, and some of the plates make the legs kind of stand out. So here I was just putting on the plates, thinking I'm just going to screw these in and be done. They came out kind of wonky. But anyway, I finally figured it out. So once I got the legs situated, I painted the top white so that they would match the legs, and sealed it all up. And here you see me putting on one of the IOD spring transfers called Sarah Featon's Botanicals. So that's what I'm doing here.
It's what you do.
So then I decided I wanted to put some typography on the front wood part. So I pulled out my typesetting stamp. I love this stamp, y'all. It's an oldie but goodie by IOD. And I am laying out the word market. I thought this little box could be like a cute little box to keep in your, maybe your greenhouse or something, and put like seed packets in it for, the planting season or something. But I didn't want to put seeds on it just in case somebody wanted to use it for something else. So I thought the word market would be kind of nondescript. So that's the word I chose. And I'm just laying out my letters, and I'm catching them on with my thin mat. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to stamp it up with my black Stays-On ink. And then I'm going to press it into the wood.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see
quick look back at where this project started, a box and some legs, and look at how it came out. Oh, I really love it, y'all. I really do. It came out really, really pretty. All right, for my fourth and final project, I decided that I wanted to make over this sweet little nondescript tray table that I bought at a garage sale for $3. So I'm going to start out with some of the IOD molds. This is the Trimmings 1 mold. And I'm putting them down on the kick plate part of the, I'm calling it a kick plate, the part where you rest your feet on the tray table at the bottom. And then kind of up underneath where it folds up at. I'll put a little bit there too. But then I'm going to give it all over the bottom side, the legs. I'm going to do that in DIY's little black dress. Now this paper, y'all, is a thicker paper, and I got it from one of the crafters that was kind of downsizing her shop, and so I got several of these. So here I am. I'm just going to go around the edge here and kind of tear off with my fingers because I'll be blending it in, and so it's always easier to blend into a kind of a jagged surface. So I decided to go ahead and paint the top white first because I've never really used this paper before, so I didn't really know if anything in it, if the brown from the table was going to show through. So I just decided to play it safe and paint it white. And then I use Mod Podge to put it down because it is a little bit of a heavier paper. And y'all, Mod Podge does not smell very good, but I made it through it. So I'm going to lay my paper down and I'm just going to press it down. And once I get it pressed in, I am going to add Mod Podge back over the top. Now, one thing you don't want to do is don't press around with your paper too much once you get it laid down. Because, I mean, you don't need to. Just set it and forget it. Hey, do y'all remember that commercial that used to say, just set it and forget it? I know I'm aging myself, but I do remember that commercial. Anyway, once I get that done and get the Mod Podge back over the top of it, and once it's all dry, I'm coming in with some DIY Sandy Blonde, and I'm just going to try to blend in those edges as best I can. And if you guys are interested in some of the products that I used in this video today, you can find them on my website at www.pecanporchboutique.com. I don't retail DIY paints anymore, but I still have some left on my website, some colors left on my website, and you'll also see me using some stencils that I still have on my website as well. So if you're interested, just take a look on my website, and maybe you'll find something for you to do your own project with. So here I am now. I am using the chandelier stencil. You can find this one on my website if you're interested. I think I have one left. And I am going to be stenciling the chandelier along the typography part of this paper. And you can see that I went through a couple of colors before I could get a color that actually showed up. So I actually had to use the little black dress to get it to show up on that paper. So here I am. I'm using my spouncer, but then it turns out that the spouncer didn't work so well, but I kept going. So I think I got a pretty good image with the chandelier stencil. One thing you want to do though when you're stenciling, and you have a tendency to not want to do it, but you want to make sure that you're offloading, because stencils don't really need a lot of paint, and that's kind of how you'll get some bleed under if you don't offload. So as I finish up my chandelier stencil here, I'm also going to be using a couple other stencils. One is called Corset Maker. One is called French Postcard. And then I have one with from Made by Marley called Pomme and Plume. I believe that's what that's called. And that's the leaves that I will do the top border or make a border on this top of the table with. So Anyway, if you're interested in some of these products, I do have them on my website. Again, that's www.pecanporchboutique.com. And I really think that all of them came out really well. If you have a favorite or if you liked any of them, leave me a comment, leave me a like. Please share my video. I would appreciate that. And until next time, y'all, don't forget to bud, bloom, and be unique. All right, let's take a look back. Here's our little table. And it's still a tray table, but look how pretty it is. I thought it was so cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Bye-bye.